Last time I realized that the screen was real blurry and don't know exactly why that was, and it looks like parts of the video were clear and parts were blurry. All I can think of is that it might have had to do with the screen rotating, so I have locked the rotation of the screen for this video. That should help. So where we were last time, I changed my mind, the girl says. I guess that it's a Rhyhorns. Meanwhile, Ash and friends are coming down the road. Did you hear anything? He asked, stepping on James's head. Nope, Misty says. Must be your imagination. Hey, I know that voice, says a young man approaching you. It's Rook, the sheriff of this town. So, just got a sheriff of some random town that's between Pewter City and Mount Moon. It's determined to put some kind of establishment between those two places. And now that I think about it, considering the way the anime goes, you could be filming Ash from any angle, but the anime kind of shows Ash entering Pewter City from the right and leaving from the left, when I suppose you could just have the camera angle backwards of the way it is in the games. But in the games, you have to come into Pewter City from the south and leave to the east. And the landscape just doesn't really seem to match between the two of them. So, I'd say it's pretty open to interpretation, whatever is just beyond Pewter City. It's Rook, the sheriff of this town. Why are you doing this? He asks angrily. You say, I must get to Mount Moon. You can't stop me from going. That's a stubborn spirit I haven't heard in a while, he says, but you're not going. Mount Moon is a dangerous place. You wouldn't last 5 minutes. You say, how else am I supposed to get to Cerulean City? I thought you had a friend named Ash to help you. Do you know who I am? He abandoned me! So the AI says that for me. Doesn't realize we are Ash, and puts those words in our mouth to say that Ash abandoned us. We abandoned us. Alright, that'll be all for today. I need to clean the blood off my hands. You march past him to the entrance of the cave. Rook is blocking the entrance of the cave. You're not going in there, he says. The place is straight up surveillance now. I'm serious. You say, I'm going to Cerulean City. The only path is through this cave. You can't pass me. He charges toward you, but stops an inch away. Rook steps back. I'm not going to stop you, but please, be careful. I will. You march into the cave and find yourself in a large underground lab where several Team Rocket members are running around. You quickly hide behind a large rock formation. Ah! 2 of them say, spotting you. You realize you have a fight on your hands. You release Pidgeotto. And then it says, let's see how these guys like being attacked by a Litwick. And I can't really work with it suddenly giving me a Litwick. So, just kind of ignored that. Pidgeotto, use Gust. Pidgeotto shoots a powerful jet of wind at your enemies. It puts them off guard and they fall to the ground. Now let's see how you fight, one of them says. Misty and Brock join the battle on your side. They use Starmie and Onyx. Onyx finishes off the last Team Rocket member and crushes a couple of rocks. This cave is filled with ancient ruins, exclaims Rook. Are they important to Clefairy? No, but we can use them to our advantage. And I don't know how we're using the ruins to our advantage. Come on! Rook leads you out of the cave, and soon you're at a large ancient well. You see the Clefairy dance all around the well. It must be some kind of magic well, since Clefairy aren't found in other regions of the Pokemon world. Let's see. It specified that for me. Is that true? There are Clefairy in Mount Coronet and Sinnoh. So there are other places. Alright, give them a good push, Rook yells. Why are we pushing the Clefairy? Pikachu! Your Pikachu goes and dances with the Clefairy. So I think the AI yelled out for Pikachu, and then I told it to go dance with the Clefairy, but I'm not exactly sure what's what now. That's kind of the difficulty of writing out the story ahead of time. I don't know who said what. Pikachu goes and dances with the Clefairy. Yeah, Pikachu, you laugh. The Clefairy have never seen a human, much less a Pokemon fan before. They're all over him. Which I think it should say you. Even trying to climb up his arm and into his sleeve. That's quite bold of wild Pokemon, and I think Clefairy are shy. You say, haha, that tickles, get off. Pikachu, use Thunderbolt, you command. Pikachu's Electro Thunderbolt sends the Clefairy running. And I didn't really want to attack them. I was kind of afraid that it might do that when I said get off. That's why I put the ha-ha in there, trying to lighten the mood a little bit. I don't think it caught that. Ash, what did you do that for? Misty scolds. The Clefairy were just playing. No, they weren't, Ash says. They were scared of you. Of course they were, laughs Rook. Now grab the rope and pull it down. I don't know what we are pulling down. Everything Rook says makes no sense. He's an unwelcome character. We have to get rid of him. Ash and his friends pull down the well cover, and the Clefairy scatter once again. Well, that was interesting, you say. I've never seen a well full of Clefairy before. It must be sacred to them, says Brock. The poor things must be on edge since Team Rocket took over their cave. Rook turns to face you. So, do you think you could use a sacred well as a Pokemon Center? A Pokemon hospital? And I don't know why that is suddenly our decision. And he says a Pokemon Center and then reiterates a Pokemon hospital. So the AI knows what a Pokemon Center is, but thinks that we might not know. You say, I don't have the qualifications to set up a Pokemon hospital. You'll have to talk to Nurse Joy. Whatever. Rook pulls a Pokédex out of his pocket. I can't believe you're using a basic invention that was originally designed by a simple human. You pull out your Pokédex. You say, cool. This is mine. What model is yours? I have no idea, he says. I think it was lost somewhere in Team Rocket's headquarters. I found this one instead. So he's ridiculing me for the kind of Pokedex that I have. And he doesn't even have his original Pokedex. He lost his Pokedex, and he's using one that he found in the Team Rocket headquarters. He's got some nerve to be ridiculing me. That's nice. I've been using mine for years. Or is it thinking that those lines are the other way around? That Ash lost his Pokedex. Sometimes it's really confusing who's talking. But I'm still gonna say that Rook lost his Pokedex. Ever since you mentioned Nurse Joy, Brock has been lost in thought, fantasizing about her. She's so caring, he says dreamily. You can't fantasize about a real person, you scold. So I just told it that Brock was fantasizing about Nurse Joy. And then it somehow decided Nurse Joy's a real person. Alright, that's enough, Misty yanks Brock by the ear. Rook just shakes his head. Anyway, I have a question to ask you, he says. Can you train Pokemon to use medical items? Rook is very fixated on setting up a hospital. You say, me? No, but I bet someone could. Pokemon are smart. Perfect. You'll be a great doctor, Rook whoops. He's not paying any attention to me when I say that I'm not qualified. Now we just need to find you a Pokemon to push the button. I have one. I don't know what button we're pushing, but we have a Pokemon to push it. Prepare for trouble. Make it double. I was at a kind of a dead end, so bring in Team Rocket when you don't know what else to do. You hold out your daycare. I don't know how you hold out an entire daycare. And a little Rattata appears. Eradicate. It'll do. What? You protest. And I don't like ignoring whole sections of what it says, but sometimes you just cannot work with them. I can't do anything with this daycare and Rattata popping up. So, back to Team Rocket. You hear Team Rocket just before you see them. An evil as old as the galaxy sent here to fulfill our destiny. And I'm not sure if that's the correct cheer for the era. I might have gotten them mixed up. You shake your head and frown. I thought we wiped them out. We did, but there's always another group starting up, probably with some of the same members. To protect the world from devastation, to unite the people within our nation, to denounce the evils of truth and love, to extend our reach to the stars above. Jesse, James, Team Rocket blast off at the speed of light. Surrender now or prepare to fight. Meowth, that's right. Flame on. You stand in front of the cover, ready to defend it at any time. What is so important about a well cover? James and Meowth operate it, firing flames and sparks. They're operating the well cover, so Ash is standing in front of the well cover in order to protect the well cover. But James and Meowth are somehow operating the well cover that Ash is supposed to be blocking them from. And the well cover generates flames and sparks. Clear as mud. But we still have to defeat them. Onyx, harden! Brock blocks the attack. Its hard coat absorbs most of the damage. Now, I had an image of Onix just kind of getting all shiny and deflecting an attack, just the attack bouncing right off. I feel like that has happened in the anime, but I don't know what that would be. Maybe Mirror Coat, but I couldn't find anything about Onix being able to use Mirror Coat, at very least not in Gen 1. But I know sometimes Pokemon in the anime will use moves that they can't use in the games. I'm not sure if an Onix ever used Mirror Coat in the anime, but I feel like I remember that. But the closest thing I could find in the Gen 1 moveset was Harden. Brock's Onix blocks the attack, its hard coat absorbing most of the damage. Growl! Go, Sandslash, commands Misty, giving a Pokeball to her Ivysaur. So the AI has no concept of Misty being a water-type trainer. Now she has a Sandslash and an Ivysaur. And I don't know if we'll bring those Pokemon back later, or if we're just going to ignore them later and they're just here for this one battle. Growl, scratch, growl! The Sandslash nods and does as commanded. Pika! Pikachu uses Onix as a ramp and launches himself at Team Rocket, cheeks sparking. Jessie, get clearing pool. Meowth, dig out hiding spot. Get clearing pool, dig out hiding spot. What kind of commands are those? If those commands were given to me, I would not know how to follow. Especially get clearing pool. Would not how to do that. Dig out hiding spot? Maybe. If we had a predetermined hiding spot, I would know how to dig it out. And it's also not clear who is giving those commands. But considering one's to Jessie and one's to Meowth, the only other person who could be giving those commands is James. But he seems like the least likely of the trio to be ordering things. Then, steal the treasure and run. Follow me, I know a better location to find the gold than the professor did. The professor did what? Find the gold? Did just doesn't seem grammatically correct in that sentence. Who died and made you leader? Jessie huffed. Meowth obeys, scratching at the floor and opening a hatch. He hops down, then swims to the other side to hide. You say, they're getting away! Do something, Pikachu! Pikachu, use Thundershock, you command. Pikachu releases a burst of electricity, shocking Team Rocket and knocking them into the clearing pool. Again, what is a clearing pool? Whoever was talking told Jessie to get the clearing pool, and I guess she got the clearing pool. But I still don't know what a clearing pool is. You see, he can be useful. And we were apparently debating whether Pikachu could be useful or not. Onix slaps his giant tail into the water, creating a wave. The wave lifts Team Rocket into the air. Looks like Team Rocket's blasting off again! You take a deep breath and relax. As the 3 starters become of age, you'll be able to participate in the annual Pokemon League tournament. So I guess we've got all 3 starters now, not just Charmander, but they're underaged and they need to grow up. And we're just ignoring that. We've got Charmander, and hopefully we can get Squirtle and Bulbasaur later. You watch the 3 of them grow up. You say, Is Mom still here? Did we lose my mom? Because I think we had Delia right before we entered Mount Moon, and then we haven't heard from her in a while. And Ash's mom is Dingy. She could get herself into some trouble. In the anime, Ash's mom asks if Ash is a twin. We know Delia doesn't have a lot of brains. Your mom is still here. You aren't sure if you're glad or not to have lost her. At least you wouldn't have forgotten what home was like. You say, you have, however, lost Rook. You are glad for that. You, Mom, Brock, and Misty make it to the edge of the cave. Cerulean City at last. And thank goodness it let me lose Rook. I did not want Rook to be going on with us forever. And so we got out of the end of Mount Moon, heading towards Cerulean City. We have our mom, we have Brock, we have Misty, and we got rid of Rook. So we're in a good shape for next time. See ya, chair, stool.